Excellent. Okay. Welcome, everybody. If you're watching this recording later, thank you so much for coming to the class and supporting Foster Village. I really appreciate it. We're going to make 4 cards today, and everybody who took the class actually is getting a full roll of the really pretty black and white gingham ribbon. I used a lot of black and white in here because I think yellow and green and black and white will go together, and I think they're really fun. And so everybody's getting a full roll of this. I ended up only using it on 1 card, which is kind of funny, but you could throw it on any of the cards, and I think it would be super cute, and you can use it for gift wrapping and stuff too. So these cards are probably a little more involved than my normal cards. So there's some dry embossing here with folders. Some of that has been done for you. Some of it we'll go and do. I've got people here live in the studio, and then I've got you guys on Zoom as well. So we'll balance it all, but we'll get it all done. We're going to do this one last because it has the most stamping. And I feel like we need some confidence before we get to this one, because we're basically creating our own designer series paper, right? By like stamping the lemons and the leaves, and then we're actually going to stamp on the background of this too. And so because there's so much stamping on this one, this is the last one we're going to do. So the first one we're going to do is actually this cute little note card. So we're going to start small and work our way up. And these 2 cards actually kind of go hand in hand because there's one big die that cuts out all these lemons. So it's really nice. It's 1 pass, right? And so I was like, well, then, we can use a couple of them on this. I mean, use a couple on here, and then we'll do this one third. And this one's not hard. What I did, these look really cute because there's lots and lots of layers, right? There's lots and lots of leaves and lots of pieces. And that's what makes these probably more involved than what I would normally do. But when I was designing them, I was having so much fun. I didn't think about how much this would be to cut out later. So I did a lot of die cutting last week. I was like, oh, these are labor intensive. What was I thinking? But it's fine. So I've got buckets for each one of them here. The other thing to point out is a few folks who bought the class online got the stamp set, which is great. And so we have a stamp set, Sweet Citrus. It's a fun one. And then I offered this set of ink spots with it because these are the colors I used. So I used Gorgeous Grape. I used the Granny Apple Green, the Shaded Spruce, the Daffodil Delight. I did use some basic gray. I did not use red or pink, but you could make grapefruits out of this. And I've seen people use the pink, and it's really cute. So, and I didn't use Coastal Cabana, but I just wanted to tell you guys why I offer the ink spots and that there was actually a rhyme and a reason behind that. And I'm not just crazy. So, okay. And then I've got a little bag for you and Renee, if you want to do that. And then we're going to start with, so you can put all your finished cards in there and it'll protect them. We're going to start with this little note card. So the craft note cards and envelopes are a set. You get 20 in a package, which is crazy. I think it's like 20 of them for $10 or something. It's really reasonable. And they're really thick. They're very substantial, which is nice. So what we're going to do is we definitely do need a bone folder when you're folding this. What I have found is that they're very resistant. So when you fold it, you're definitely going to want to take your bone folder and like bone fold this bad boy. This is probably the strongest card base I've ever had. You need some convincing to lay down for sure. I almost feel like the envelope flap needs convincing as well. Like they're very sturdy. The other cool thing about the craft envelopes and note cards is it comes with a box that you can build, which is really cute to hold a bunch of them. So you could like make the note cards and you could like probably keep some, but you could also put some in this really cute box. So anyway, if you're looking for a cute little project, that's nice. And then you guys at home, I went ahead and die cut this for you. For folks here, we're actually going to do this together, and I'll show you how it works. So this is the embossing folder for Sweet Citrus, and it's a really pretty one. But then there's dies that go with it. It's like they call it a hybrid set. And the reason they call it a hybrid set is because this die actually fits inside the folder, which is wild. And I always have to remember what side it goes on, so I don't mess it up. Oh, here we go. So it goes on this side. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our yellow sheet and we're going to run it through the machine, cutting side down, and then it's going to emboss and cut these lemons out, which is really cool. So we're going to go do that. You guys hang out if you're watching online. We'll be right back. So here we go. And because of the 3D embossing folder, we'll use this thick 3D plate. And whenever we do it, we're going to put the full side in first. So we're gonna so then so you just kind of feel it and it locks in place. And then we'll do that, we'll do that, and then we'll make sure we're cutting side down, right? And then you roll that through because I'm sure you want to experience that with yourself. So fun. Look, they're perfect. So now there's a set of our names. Yeah. And take you can take this piece too. I feel like we can make a card out of that somehow or something, you know, like I was just like something magical here for sure. All right, let me see if I can for some reason, I cannot remember what side it is. Oh, it's the side with the logo. And that's it. So for those of you who are creating at home, you'll use your 3D plate to run this through because it is a 3D. And the other thing to remember is the die goes on the side with the logo. So that's where the die goes. And then just make sure you've kind of locked it in place in the middle, and then you'll get all your fun pieces. You want to put that over in the space? Awesome. Okay. So, excellent. All right. And I think the rest I ran for us. I'm hoping we don't have to run anymore. But I wanted everybody to experience that because I think that honestly, there's no greater joy than embossing your own stuff, right? And being like, ooh, magical. The texture is really cool. So, all right. So for this one, we need the cut lemon, little slice, and then the whole guy. These two we can save for our next card. And this piece is just extra, but you could come back and like cut these out and use them on something. So, you know, if you want to keep it, I think it's really cute. And then we have a whole lot of other little pieces that we're going to use on here. So I'm going to pull a few out. So we have a strip. So we're going to lay the strip down first. So we're going to kind of build up the layers. And then we're going to put purple on it, which is Karen's favorite color. And so why not? Why would we not do that? And so Karen, there's a bunch of different circles. So I actually punched these out of a paper that's retired now, but you can pick whichever circle floats your boat because there's many, many different ones. And then I actually also die cut the leaves out of the same paper because I like that they have a bunch of variety on them. So the color is really nice. So you'll need 2 leaves and you can pick whichever leaves float your boat. For those of you at home, I picked your leaves for you. Sorry, such is life. Gotta be here. And then I also have, we're gonna have a white piece for a banner and a white piece for one little flower. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and that gets all that, and that gets all that. And then, okay, so everybody has a small white for this little tiny flower, and then a longer white for our sentiment, and we're gonna fancy cut the end, so that'll be fun. All right, so I've got, here's all the pieces for her. All right, beautiful. And, all right, so we'll stamp next, because that will be pretty easy. This is a pretty easy stamping card, I think. So we're gonna have a zesty birthday, because I feel like this does scream zesty. And not that flower, this flower. So there are several flowers. And what's interesting is that these lemons are all connected. They're one big stamp. So this is kind of one big stamp. This is one stamp. We're gonna just stamp the solo guy. But we need blocks to do that. Oh, I knew I was gonna forget some. That's okay. No big deal. All right, now we got some. So cool. Alrighty. All right, have a zesty birthday. So we're gonna stamp that in gorgeous grape, and we're gonna stamp this little flower in shaded spruce. So, and my gorgeous grape has a little bit of ink here, so don't feel the need to close it. I can close it for you. I don't want you to get purple ink over you. I know you like purple, but yeah, I'm sure you don't want to be wearing it for the rest of the day. All right, so we'll just stamp right in the middle, left and right, as best you can. And there we go. I'll actually just ink it for you. That'll make life a lot easier. Perfect. Okay, there you go. And then we're going to use this cute little banner punch to cut the ends. And I think it doesn't cut a bunch of the ends, so I think it'll be perfect. So just, you're going to kind of put it in this groove, and it has different grooves for different widths. This is a 3/4 inch strip. So you'll just stick it in there and then trim your little ends. And I'm going to close this ink pad up. I probably should clean them at some point. So you can tell I've gotten purple all over my hand. And so kind of push it all the way back, and it might be easier to put it flat. Yeah. Yep, I'm weird. I like to hold my punches. I don't know why.
You gotta push it all the way.
All the way. Yep.
Until you feel.
Yep. So you feel it kind of hit the end. Yep. So now let's see. Magic. All right. Yep. Do on the other side. All right. And then I'm gonna go and release the dog. All right. I'm gonna turn the thing. Hopefully we don't blow away. The other day I was doing something in here and I turned it on 3 and I was like, oh no, 3 is too much. It's like paper starts flying all around. I'm like, all right, that's not perfect. So, all right, so we're just gonna stamp the little flower in shaded spruce. Again, it's not necessary, but is it cute? Yes. So we're gonna do it. And then everybody is getting a set of these gems. They're I always forget the name. Oh, glossy dots. They're clearly glossy dots. So everybody's getting a strip of these, and I think it's like a double strip. So they're really fun, and they the purple is clearly the winner here. And then the only other piece that we'll need is this green ribbon. And this is the metallic woven ribbon. It's a little weird. It's not my favorite. Like, it doesn't tie really pretty bows because it's so skinny, but it does look really nice, like laid flat. So I'm just going to give you a strip and you can just cut it in half and kind of glue it in the back. I don't know what that is, but oh yes. Yay. All right. So, oh, hello, George. Welcome to the party. Right. So, that's please. He's like, it's like we need to pay attention to me, fine. All right. So now we're gonna kind of build it all. If you build it, they will come. Oh, and this flower, George, come away from the scissors. Let's not cut our face. This flower, there actually is a little die, or if you don't have the dies, especially at home, you can just take your scissors and you can fussy cut it. So when you fussy cut it out, just leave a little white around the flower. I did cut the dots out. Like I'm not worrying about the dots, but you can just go in, and what you're supposed to do is create what they call a cloud, or some people call it a halo. So leave a white border all the way around your little guy. I really don't think, there's times when I think that fussy cutting, like that die cutting, is necessary. This is not one of those times. No, it's a tiny little flower. It'll be fun. So, all right. We got a tiny little flower. And when he has a purple George, down. No, sir, you are not. Oh my gosh, you love Miss Karen, don't you? You are a very nice. You don't get to do that. No. Stay down. Oh, you're a mess. I don't think I've seen you do that to you. No, George. No. All right. Good. He has gone away. Wear them in. Okay. So, all right. So now we just need some glue. So we're just gonna glue and glue and glue and glue and layer. Some of these things are on dimensionals. But actually the only things that are on dimensionals are the lemons and the sentiment. Everything else is flat glued down. So you do want to make a decision about which way you want you want a depressed or an impressed, a concave or convex situation. And I'll say I like to put my glue where it won't seep out too much. The only thing I don't like about this glue is that it's kind of sticky if it does come out. And so it's not my favorite when, like if you're an over gluer, it's not the best glue, but it's only $4 for a bottle of it and it lasts forever. And I do like that. It's very handy. Okay, so we'll do the yellow, then we'll do the purple. And it's actually one of our strongest glues, which is really interesting. But a liquid glue, it'll hold. Okay, and then we're gonna do our leaves. I think that's the best thing. It's so funny that these leaves are so cute when they're cut out of the paper. So I think like one of the leaves kind of like down here on the left. And then that's okay if that sticks out a little bit. And then one of the leaves kind of like up here, I don't know, almost like rabbit ears. It does look like rabbit ears. That's funny. No. And if we need to fold it over, like let's do that so that you don't glue yourself to yourself or your project. I've been known to like have glue everywhere. Sometimes liquid glue is good. Sometimes it is a little too messy. So then we'll glue our little flower down. And I think just kind of like glue in about here-ish. So we're kind of building the scene from like the back forward, right? From the foreground, from the background to the foreground, which is comfortable for some people and not for other people. So it's okay. Okay, so in terms of these guys, what I would do is kind of lay them both down and say, all right, this is about where I want them. And then I think we're going to put a glue dot here and glue them down with a glue dot. You can use those. They're fine. They'll pop off. These, if you get frustrated, these are also fine. So I'm probably just going to take, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to rip a couple sheets, a couple pieces off here, and I'm going to try to like glue them down like this. George, hey, thank you, sir. Enough of that. I'm just going to try to like stick them here. And you might want to like take it from here and then put it on your sheet and then peel the backing off, right? So if you have these kind, then kind of like, and I've just put a, 2 or 3 down, kind of right in the middle where you're gonna kind of intersect your ribbon pieces. And I'm super off with all my glue dots, but whatever. And if you need 3 or 4 more glue dots, you can do that as well. I'll also give you some of these. Sometimes these are easier than those. So there's a couple in there. They are not, the ones on the sheet we call double dots. Yay, good. We call them double dots for a reason. There's definitely a reason. All right, so when you're putting these guys on, they're gonna overlap a little. Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna trim mine up because they're a bit long. But when you're doing these, you're gonna want 2 big dimensionals behind this linen, and then just 1 behind this one, right? Because he's gonna rest on top of that one, right? So we'll kind of just layer them like that. So 2 behind there and 1 kind of on the upper left, back of him. So there's some big dimensionals and some littles. We'll need littles on a couple of the other projects. So it's like, well, and then with this, because this banner layers on top too, I just put 2 dimensionals kind of low, right? On the have a zesty birthday part. And then I know I'm probably going to put a little bit of like glue here. Although I'm not sure it's necessary, but we'll see. So now we're going to add our whole lemon first. So I've got our whole lemon. It's going to go kind of there-ish. Well, that's just going to have to be. It's going to be. Should have done my whole lemon a little bit. On my leaves lower or something. All right, let's do that. Because I'm trying to cover. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to cover where the leaf comes out, but you can put it on your card however you want. I don't care. It's your card. And then you're going to put your birthday banner there. And then I'm going to come back and I think I need to trim this tail. That's a little trim the waist. And this ribbon does fray, but I think it looks okay frayed. Like, I think it's cool. When you first cut it, it looks perfect, but then I promise it'll be weird. And then you're just going to come back and add some of your glossy dots, and you can accessorize with those. And I've got quite a few. Some weird leftover ones. It's going to use my leftovers. So I have a bunch of these around. And I think one looks really nice there. So probably in 3s or 5s, right? Like odd numbers, right? So we like, if you've ever taken a floral arranging class or anything, you might remember that from I don't know, art class. I don't know. I learned in floral arranging. Where did you learn it?
From you.
Oh yeah, from me. Well,
Yeah.
that's good. I was like, I like that I've taught you something. And then the other glossy dots are yours to take home and do with as you want, because we're actually going to use different, like we're using different embellishments on every card, which is kind of fun. Yeah, but the yellow I think goes with another card, and there's others that I think are really fun too. So, hello, George. Welcome to the party. You're very needy today. Yeah. We need a whitey. Yay. I was like, I'm glad you like it. And it's purple.
And it's purple.
I know. I was like, see, I knew I could make a lemon card you like because it has purple on it. So, okay, cool. Now I'm gonna tidy up my workspace a little bit, and then, and if you're having a hard time getting them into the George, you cannot chew the tablecloth. Oh my goodness! If you're having a hard time getting it in, you can always flip it inside out and do that. Sometimes when there's a lot of layers and it's kind of a tight note card, that's a handy way to get around that, because yeah, there's a lot of layers on that. Yeah. So, okay, and then we're going to do our next card. So next card. All right, let's see. So this card is, we're going to use our other lemons. Yay. And then we're going to use some really fun DSP that is, if you flip it, you'll see it's the, there's zoo critters on the back.
Oh,
They're really cute. But they were not part of the original plan. And I was like, oh, but I like the black and whites on the back. I thought that was really fun. So, all right, here is a couple of envelopes and a card base. I had a bunch of random pieces. And then there's the card bases. George, hey, George, don't be naughty. And then this is a white piece for the inside, because this is such a dark card base. You're going to need that. And then we've got kind of our smaller pieces that we'll layer. George. All right. So, yes, I like the little zoo critters. I think they're really cute, but I really do like the black and white better. So that was fun way to do it. All right. So we're going to dump all the cards, and then we can go ahead and we can glue the black and white down. It's fine. There's no, nothing that has to be done to it. So. And I'm going to do a version of this class with my seniors this week, but I'm making it simpler. So, because I was like, this is a lot. There's a lot going on. And then once you've got that, you can glue the inside piece into, because you need that. And actually want to be able to write to people, unless you have a cool silver pen or something. But those are cool. Well, yes, of course. And purple will definitely not show up on there. I was like, definitely going to need a white piece. All right. And then it's like I'm dealing decks of cards or something. All right. So this is the panel that is going to go on the front. And this panel, we're going to stamp a sentiment, and then we're actually going to stamp a couple of leaves on here too. If you mess up, remember, we can always flip it and try again. And we're going to stamp it all in the green. So, and I'm going to throw some sequins around, because why not? All right, so this one says, oh yeah, sending you a big squeeze, which I really like that sentiment. And we need some leaves, so they're fun. And we need, oh no, we're gonna need the front. Zesty birthday. So fun. I love a good pun, you know? I just like a pun. Does anybody fit on here? I grabbed the wrong size box. This is quite amazing. This box is virtually useless. All right, we'll get you later. Okay, so we're gonna do shaded spruce, and we're gonna do. I'm gonna do the sentiment first because I think that'll help me kind of know where I'm supposed to be stamping. Nice. Okay. I like the fonts on here and the font on, yeah, so this. So everybody got one of these. If you got a class in the mail, you got one too. But it's so clean and it's stamped so pretty. So this will go in the bottom right. Yeah. And then we're going to stamp a couple of leaves. So I kind of did one leaf in the upper left. And then I did one leaf in the bottom. So that's kind of how I built that. So there you go, my dear. Let me get these out of the way. Let me get this out of the way too. Sometimes I craft myself into like a 4x4 corner. And I don't know if anybody else does that. I do. And then I'm like working in like a space this big. Okay. So then we're also going to stamp a couple of leaves on a scrap piece of paper. I'm going to hand that there because we are going to die cut these out, which I know seems a little fussy, but whatever. I don't really care. So we just need a couple of leaves. The nice thing is they included 2 sets of the dies in here. And so you can actually do one pass and you get 2 leaves out, which is really nice. So I'm very happy that they did that. And then they even did that for the flowers too, which I thought was really cute. So you actually have like 6, 7, 8 flowers and 2 leaves that you can run through at a time. It's actually really efficient. So I was like, oh, that's a really nice, it's very nice. All right, and then we're gonna have a piece of yellow and we're gonna stamp, this is an obscenely large piece of yellow for what we're doing, but it's fine. I was just trying to cut and give you guys. So if you wanted to have 90,000 of these flowers on here, you could. I don't think it's necessary, but. So we're going to use yellow on yellow. So this is Daffodil Delight, and we're going to stamp in Daffodil Delight. And I actually think that it looks pretty cool. It's very light. And so, you know, if you want to have more, feel free. Stamp as many flowers as you want. And then we'll go die cut them and at the machine. So we on screen will be back in a minute. Wish I had like a pause the TV. All right, so we'll do this and then I put my leaves and my others. Yes. Oh, so for this, we'll use the blade. And then we'll we can run both of our flowers through because you and I only hope to set right. So we can take both of our flowers. Let's see how we play George. Flowers. All right, and then George. Not come up again, silly. That's not been there changing. Like last week, reached the speaker. That's one. We've been like minutes. There goes that entertainment. Okay, it should come down. So here's a set of leaves. Here's a set of numbers for you. To let you take these and you can go. Hey. The other day I was doing a Facebook Live and he came and running in here. He busted open the doors like during the live and then he ran in and he like jumped on me like on the screen. I was like, oh my God. But someone else I know, we were on a Zoom and a giant dog came and screamed and he looked like he was even bigger than George. He was a 93-pound Bernie Doodle. And I was like, oh, that's a big one. So I did pop this whole panel up with dimensionals.
Yep.
So dimensionals. These two little flowers are down flat with blue. I would use a glue dot, honestly, because they're so tiny. And then I've got some gold sequins that we're going to add because why not? And gold sequins are fun. Here's our gold sequins. What did you that? And then you've got lots of dimensionals in there. See what you do. All those toys that they say are tough for dogs, they've never met George.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, not tough enough, you know?
I know, I bought one at Tractor Supply and it was supposed to be indestructible.
Oh,
And
that does not exist.
no,
Like, have you met our dogs? Like, they are, yes, they just rip it apart, rip it to shreds. Okay, so let's get some dimensionals here. Let's see. All right, so I'm gonna put 4 here. We had a whole debate this week and we had a crafty weekend, a bunch of the ladies on my team, and everybody talked about whether they put a dimensional in the middle or not. And they're like, but the whole thing will depress. And I'm just like, it's not, like, it doesn't have to stand up. I don't feel that that's necessary, but others apparently feel that it is. So I know. Okay, I will say though, there was a lady I met last month when I did an event, and I've never seen anybody put as many dimensionals behind something as she did. Like, I was like, you're literally putting the entire like plate of dimensionals like down. I was like, it was like on a panel like this, she probably put like 10, maybe 15. I've never seen anybody use that many dimensionals ever. It's like, that's insane. Like, and honestly, it's wasteful. Like, that way. Like, I mean, they're not, they're not free. I mean, they're not expensive. They're not free. And that seems excessive. I'm using the little guys. I think you've got some in your bucket too for these. I just think that the big guys are too, they're too big. All right, so I'm gonna kind of layer some leaves, I felt so bad. We rented an Airbnb and we left such a mess. There were so many dimensional pieces everywhere. Like, it wasn't a purposeful mess, but it was just like we crafted, and we clearly crafted well and hard. And there was I tried to vacuum even, and their vacuum was terrible. So I couldn't even vacuum the stuff up. I'm like, oh no.
They didn't charge you anything extra, did they?
I'm hoping they don't. It wasn't my rental, thank goodness. But I was like, told the lady who rented it, I was like, look, I have done my best. I am sorry. Like, I cannot help you. There's no more that can be done here. All right, let's see. So again, I think what is cute about this is lots and lots of layers, right? I think that, yes, you could do a simple card, you could, but honestly, I think that what is pretty about all this is all the layers. So once you've built all these layers up though, then this one's kind of like you can't see him. I'm gonna pull him off. Oops. I can't see him either. The lemons are really big. So kind of like once you once you figure out where your lemons go, then you might make different decisions about where your flowers go. Okay, that looks a little better. I'm gonna actually probably bring this flower maybe like back here or something. I don't think it's there. Okay, I'm gonna wait on that one. Maybe tuck your flowers in after you put your lemons down. That's what I've decided now. So, but yeah, they looked quite nice. We made like we did a swap, and so everybody designed a card. And we made each other's cards. It's always fun. Yeah, it's always fun. And so we made like 9 cards plus 3 others plus 2 others. And it was like, I don't know, 15 cards or something in one little weekend. And plus we talked and ate and, did all the other fun things, So, all right. So this lemon will definitely go off screen. Yes. So be okay with that.
Could be glue or dimension.
So I dimensional him and then I put a little bit of glue under here. It doesn't look like it's holding well. So what I might do, and this one's actually up too, so it doesn't bother me a ton, but if it bugs you, we can take one of these glue dots. I like to get it on a scissor and you can actually sometimes take it and kind of tuck it underneath and then glue it down. So that's kind of looking. So to do that. And then this guy, I'm not sure where I want him. I want him right here. I have decided he's going in a different location in this card. It's a lot of layers. But whoever gets this card better know they're very special.
Yeah.
Don't throw it away.
I know who I'm sending this to.
Yay! I love it when people come to craft class and they're like crafting for a purpose and they're like, oh, this is who's getting this. Or, that always makes me really happy. I have found out that I can put trash in here too. This is a handy little trash can. I got these at the dollar store and I'm actually really pleased with them. They're really cute. I'm like, they fit all of our little supplies just perfect. I'm like, huh. And then you might need, a couple more flowers and then some sequins and you're in a pretty good place. So it's cool. All right, look at us. Line up my ginormous.
I keep trying to go to the dollar store by the Y, but it's like closed half the time. I don't know if they just can't get in.
Oh, I
Employees.
haven't been to that one in a long time. I go to the Dollar General here in town.
Oh, yeah.
And it's across town, but whatever. It's okay. I wouldn't say it's like my favorite, but every once in a while you hit it and you're like, oh, that's fun. There's cool stuff or, right. He sounds like he has something incredible.
Yes.
Oh, you're trying to get to care of boys. You don't have He knows he gets a bark box every month.
Oh, cool.
And we started getting super fun because, he was just chewing through everything. And so now he gets something in the box.
Uh-huh.
Box. Yeah. The weirdest thing, I don't know where it is. The last one was Italian themed, and there was a giant elbow macaroni, but it was like made of like the hardest plastic. He absolutely loves it, and he looks ridiculous walking around with a giant macaroni in his mouth. But he loves it, and it cracks me up every time. I'm like, this is crazy. Like, what? And he loves a good squeaky ball. Like that's his other. They're not quiet, but it will entertain him for quite some time. Did you get your sequins? You good?
Yes.
Okay. Good. Yay, awesome. Okay. So then card number 3, we are just trucking along. I'm very impressed with us. Not over there, not over here. And then card number 3. Yeah, he has to bring it and show us because there's nothing like showing us, right? All right. So, it's so silly. All right, envelope.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And that's George. All right. Wow. Seriously, George, that is a lot of squeaking you got going on. I think, oh yeah. So this piece of white is big. Okay. Yeah, so this is the one we're gonna stamp on. I'm gonna hold that. Oh, I was really nice. I ran all of y'all's sheets through the embossing. I was like, whoa. I was like, how kind of me. And then this is your inside panel, because again, this card is super dark and there's no way you could write on here. And then, okay, good. Okay, got all my pieces out, my parts and pieces. So we know what we're doing. Okie dokie. So the easiest part of the card, we'll put the inside piece in and we'll I'm going to put an inside piece for me. The outside piece, it's blue. Gotta decide what's worse, him being in here trying to steal the tablecloth, or the squeaking, which is honestly pretty terrible. So I think it's when he has to show you. Like,
Yes.
he wants you to see how cool his thing is. And he's like, that's amazing. Amazing. All right, now we're gonna glue this on. George. Oh my God. George, this is gonna be like the worst video ever. You don't care, buddy, do you? Huh? I know, it's a tough life. Okay, out. Go play out there. Go. Ouch. With your ball. Out with your ball. Ouch. 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 You are such a monster. Oh. All right, so yeah, just make sure that I don't know, like I probably didn't glue down everything really, but it's good enough. It'll be set. Okay. So we're gonna do a technique on this one, which is fun. It's called rock and roll. And it's kind of, I had a good 3 seconds there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna stamp it in a lighter color, and then you're gonna roll it in a darker color, and that's how you get kind of like these darker edges. So we'll take the leaf and we're gonna stamp, you're all gonna get like a big quarter sheet piece to stamp on, because we're gonna stamp the lemons and we're gonna stamp a bunch of leaves. So when you do this, you're going to have your light color and your dark color, and you're gonna hopefully have your stamp on your black. So you're gonna go in your light color and you're gonna, all right, I got my light color. And then you're just gonna kind of like roll it on the edges on the dark one, and then you can stamp it. And that's how you're gonna get that. And then you need to have a white bead, because if you then put it back in the light, then you're gonna get dark ink in your light. So it's called rock and roll. It's a pretty fun technique. It's not super hard. And depending on how you do it, right, will depend on how much of like the dark green you get. And I'm fine with variety. I know some people, it's okay. It's not super precise, which I'm okay with as well. But we need like 4 sets of leaves. And so We'll stamp 4 sets of leaves.
See how you do mine.
Yes. You're like, and I'm not doing that. Okay. You'll watch me get lots and lots of practice at this. I'm just I think it's an interesting, I think there's some cool stuff. And you can even do it with those little ink spots too. And I actually think it's easier with the ink spots because they're little.
And you can kind of take the
Tap.
spot.
Exactly. You can tap it on instead of this, where you're literally having to like rock and roll it versus kind of tap it on the edge. And so I think this is a little bit harder with the big guy, but it's not the end of the world. And then one more. And then, all right, so now we've got a really green situation there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to stamp our lemons in our yellow. And because so it has 2 pieces. It has an interior piece and an exterior piece. And the other interesting piece is that this was actually attached to this, but I was making a couple cards where I just wanted this. So I cut it off, which I realize is probably sacrilegious to most people. Okay, all right, so what we're going to do is I'm going to kind of mount it back, because when you cut it, it'll cut it as a set. So we're going to stamp it as a set in the yellow. And the reason they did it like this, because I wondered for a while, I was like, why would they make the insides and the outsides separate? Well, if you want to do grapefruits, right, you're going to have more of a yellow outside and then like a pink inside. And so I was like, oh, well, that makes sense, right? So we're going to stamp that. And then we'll stamp the inside. So I'll ink yours up and you can stamp your giant lemons.
And that was nice of them, instead of making that we buy a whole other set.
Right, exactly. And I like that they made it. And then what we can do is, I think I can fit this. I think I can fit it on the smaller one. That's a good one. Pretty. That's great. That'll be what we call good enough. And I think it should work. All right, so then we have to line our guys, to line our fruit up. I'm pushing really hard because I know my block isn't big enough, right? But it's pretty good. So, all right, line your fruit up. Well, normally Marianne would be here to entertain the dog, but she left for summer camp.
So where?
So she's going to Hermanson's, which is a camp in Comfort, Texas. And it's where I went as a kid. And there you go. Get your power in, right? Power moves with power.
I did great.
You did excellent. You did amazing. And so now we're just going to die cut that. So unfortunately, 27 times. No, just kidding. So there's one die that cuts out the fruit, right? And then there's the other die that's going to cut out the leaves. So if you want to go over and start that, I need to get you the fruit one though, because I don't think I left it over there. So let me find that. Oh yeah, here's the fruit. So I like that the die can work separate from the embossing folder or with, exactly. Yeah, I do, just like that. And then if you want to use some washi tape, sometimes it's helpful when you put it out, you can kind of tape it down. And that kind of helps hold it. And then we can Those are more forgiving. I feel like the leaves, not so much. Sorry, you should start it. And then you can just do another set of leaves. And this one, we need the sentiment. Oh, that's what I did. I was like, what did I do? You know, I was ahead of the game and I signed this class and they told me about the fundraising. I signed this class like in April or something. It was a long time ago. And so now I'm picking up the thing. Like, what was I doing? I barely remember how I did that. All right. Now I remember. I can do it. All right. Oh yeah, and that's the other one. I guess God's flying. That's always fun. All right, and then the other thing we need, and I'll die cut these for you. They're kind of like an add-on anyway. So we need 2 sets of these little flowers. And I probably will, yeah, because I will use up your scraps as well. So we need 2 sets of flowers. Yeah, it all just barely fits. I did not do a very economical job of saving that, but I will run these through the die machine too. So the last piece for this one is the sentiment. And you'll see that I like cut around it. So this is a thing that the European demonstrators are doing. If you don't want to do it, it's fine. One of the reasons I did it was because the sentiment actually reads, enjoy the sweeter things in life, which I wasn't sure I liked the in life part. So if you want to fussy cut around that, if you want to cut the in life part off, if you want to, if you have a choice as to whatever you want to do, I felt like enjoy the sweeter things was probably good enough. And so I didn't feel like I needed the full sentiment for that. But you know, who am I? All right, I'm gonna go cut us some flowers too, because you need like 57 flowers. And then it's the same philosophy as the other ones, right? So except with this one, what I did was I built the oranges first, and then I kind of tucked the leaves in. So, or the lemons. So put your lemons on first, and then you can kind of tuck the rest. And then we have a bunch of these shiny pearls to go into. I know. It's like, ooh, iridescent pearls. Better than real pearls. Get you some flowers. Yeah, this was a set that came out in the spring, and I just never got a chance to play with it. And then when Foster Village was like, hey, we're doing a fundraiser, you know, we want to partner with businesses that want to do a lemon themed something. And I was like, oh, yes, I want to do this. So
Is lemons just for this year, or is that something they have?
so apparently that's like their thing,
Okay.
is that they do lemonade day, lemon themed month in June. They've done it for the last couple of years. And so, yeah, it's pretty cool. So, all right, so we've got that. I'm gonna cut another set for you. It bounced on me. I should have used my washi tape trick because all right, so we've got some more flowers for you. One of them's like a partial flower, but you could tuck in behind something maybe. And some lemons and leaves for me. And I'm gonna stamp some more. It's definitely off. Yeah, so I helped another lady with her lemonade fundraiser, and she did taquitos. Have you heard of it? It's like a game.
No.
It's like bingo, but with a deck of cards.
Hmm.
And I have never seen anything like that before in my life. But she asked me to come over and teach a class as part of the night. Like they were going to play this game, and she had like, silent auction stuff and raffles, and then they had this Bikino game that's wild to me. And they were like, oh, you should play. And they had, she did like alcoholic drinks or whatever,
Mhm.
and they had all been having beverages. So I was like, I had to be myself. I was like, I can't focus on the game. There's no way that I can like have a beverage and play this game, like, no, I'm not that good. Like, not possible. I was impressed that they could. But it was the wildest game I've ever seen. It really was like bingo, but your bingo card has like, 4 spades and a ace of diamonds.
Okay.
And so they call it like that. But if you're not on top of it, it was very difficult. And I kept getting the spades and the clubs mixed up. I clearly am an adult and know the difference, but I don't know what it was. I just could not see straight. And I was like, and then I played another bingo game last night at an event that also used, she called it quick bingo, but it also used playing cards. And I also had a very hard time keeping clubs and spades straight. Hearts and diamonds are easy for me. Like, that's clear, But the spade, I was like, the spade is the point one. Spade is the point one. I was like, oh my goodness, I'm not going to make it.
You glue the leaves down?
I think that they are all glued down.
Yeah.
I think the leaves are just kind of tucked in glued.
Yep.
And then I think
then you dimensional the
definitely yes, there's one friend who's joining our class. She just will pick her up where.
This one right now. Here?
Yes.
Oh,
That's
so cute. We'll have to walk you through.
okay.
First, you wanna fold the green card in half. Oh, yeah, fold that one. So that's the outside, and you use the little thing to. That's the crease.
I love this class already.
Karen can catch you up.
Oh my gosh.
No, we'll get you rolling. I'm not too worried. So, there's a small piece of white that'll go inside your card, and there's a big one for stamping. So I think
Yeah.
that might be the
This
small
one goes
one.
inside.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Oh,
just
look how cute it is.
just glue that in.
Yeah.
Inside, this
Yeah.
one here.
Mhm.
Yep.
And there's a green glue in your little sorter in front of you. Use the tiny end of it, and a little goes a long way.
Okay.
You remember from elementary school, right? Like dot, dot, not a lot, right? Like,
Oh, I love it.
yeah, I like to keep it simple.
Okay. I can go back.
I know. So Renee used to work at Mary Ann's elementary school,
Yeah.
and that is how I know her. And so we were buddies. And so fun. She went to summer camp. I was just telling
Oh,
Karen. Yeah, normally she would be the one to like entertain the dog and like keep him out of our hair, but
Oh, yeah.
not so much. So
Oh, she's busy.
I know she has a life and stuff.
I love it. I know. I want to come to more of these.
Yay.
I know.
I've been doing this one on Sunday on Zoom, but there's folks who need a Sunday class in person,
Yeah.
and I've got a few really devout folks on Zoom, but then, so I record it for them, but a lot of them are watching it later, like they're not watching it live. So I'm kind of wondering, like, maybe I should just tape one for them, and then I can open this table up so that we can have more people here on a Sunday.
Yeah.
Because then I've got 5 or 6 people who are coming Tuesday during the day, which is lovely. And then I've got about 5 who are on Zoom, but it's also the summer and a lot of people are busy in the summer,
Yeah.
So I'm like, meh. So if you want to glue the green panel down on the front, so that just glues
Yeah.
straight down. And what I'll do is I'm going to put the sample card between you two.
Okay.
So then you kind of know where you're headed, right?
Yeah.
And then we'll get you caught up, and that's no big deal. All right, we got this. And we're gonna need this and this. We need our leaf. I need another block.
And this is perfect timing because my niece she's going to camp for a month.
A month?
And so we can send letters.
Yeah. Because are they supposed to be technology free?
Yeah.
I bet so.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah, Marianne can't take her cell phone or
That'll
anything.
be good.
It is
It
good.
is.
And her camp, so we can send letters, but we can also, we can send emails and they'll print it for them,
Okay.
which is kind of nice for like when you send letters, I don't know, like one, by the time they get there, sometimes they've already left camp. If they're not there, a month is a long time. But other times, like, it's just nice to have like a current update, and so like, and sometimes I'll stick a picture in there and they'll print it. I mean, they're really nice. Even in black and white, that's still cool, So, okay, so we're gonna stamp the lemons first. I'm gonna show you this big guy. So the stamp set's really cool. So it has a really big lemon outline. And you've got this panel here, so that we're going to stamp on here, and we're actually going to stamp all of our pieces here and cut it out. So if you want to stamp it kind of like go bottom left or something, and then we'll work around it. So just stamp that whole thing, push down nice and firm. And then we're going to fill it, because we're doing lemons, we're going to fill it with yellow. But you could do oranges, or you could do grapefruit or whatever. So when you flip it over, then you'll kind of line it up. Exactly. Yeah. Oops, sorry. So if I moved your paper and made you, I almost messed you up. Isn't that nice? So people have done lemons, limes, grapefruits, oranges, coconuts with this set.
Ooh.
They did. I was impressed with the coconuts. I was like, wow, coconuts. Okay. It is really cool. All right. And then we're going to do the leaf, but we're going to do it in kind of an interesting way. So it's called the rock and roll. So it gets multiple colors on the ink on the stamp. So I'll kind of show you. I'm going to come over there. So when we do this, we'll start with our light colors. So we're going to stamp our. I have these little bars in here so you can see like which one's like,
That's
right?
cool.
Because otherwise you would have no. And this is yours to keep, that way. So we'll use it on the last card, but so we're gonna clean it between, and you'll see why, because we're gonna tap it in the light color, and then so we've got this green apple cream, and then we're gonna kind of just like roll it a little bit,
Okay.
and it's gonna make a edge. So now you can stamp that one, and I would say yes,
Is it
stamp it
better?
up there. Yeah, you can squeeze it in there, and we'll die cut them out. Perfect.
Oh, yeah.
And then we're gonna do that 3 more times. So we're gonna clean it.
Okay.
Because if not, we would be getting dark ink in here and roll it.
Okay.
And you're gonna get a little bit of a different ink like every time, which is totally fine. So I'll let you rock and roll the next couple. I think it's a fun name too, honestly.
I know it is.
Who doesn't want to do rock? That's
Oh, it's doing mine turns out.
yeah, I mean it's fine. Like you can just a wee bit, yeah. Or a lot.
Let's
that's
see.
fine too.
It might be cool.
Yeah, totally cool.
Yeah.
And then we'll clean it because,
Okay, we need one more.
and yes, we need one more, and this green is not something you want to get all over your hands.
Like, syrup always ends up on mine. Everything.
All right, so then the last couple things we're gonna stamp on that sheet is 2 sets of flowers. And we're just gonna stamp them and see the little like baby flowers on there. So we're just gonna stamp those in the dark ink. I think you can squeeze probably like, you can probably squeeze 1 or 2 sets in. If you need another scrap piece, we'll give them. I was impressed at how much of this we stuff. Like, oh, did good. Perfect. And then ink it one more time
Okay.
on the dark one. Yeah. Perfect.
Oh, yeah.
And you managed to fit all your pieces on there. Good job. And then we're going to stamp the sentiment. Now on here, the sentiment says, enjoy the sweeter things in life. But you can see I cut off the in life because I wasn't sure. I was like, do I really? But if you like the whole
Yeah,
thing,
yeah.
you can have the whole thing. And you also don't have to fussy cut it like that. So like I literally took my scissors and went around. You can stamp the whole thing on here and you can just leave it. You could like cut the end at an angle. You can do whatever makes you happy. But-
Okay.
Perfect. So now, if you want to bring that sheet, the big one, yeah, over, we're going to die cut all those pieces out. All right, 1, 2, 3. Let's do this. Okay, so, we- so you lay your sheet down here, then we're gonna start to layer these guys. Might use a little bit of washi tape. You can see how they move around, you know, so I'm gonna like. Right in. Oops. And this one doesn't. It's kind of pretty. I think that's what this. And there's nothing like. No, what's funny is like the first time I remember did, I thought I was breaking the machine. I'm like, let's see. Oh, he's under. So these cards from Karen are a little more complicated than my normal cards would be. I think I kind of lost my mind in this design, but I'm so excited to do this House of Village class as a fundraiser. And just like.
That's how you can design your own and then they do these die, or do you do it?
No, so they have this set, it was like a set, and then you kind of decide what you want to do with it, right? And
Mhm.
so, you know, I look at the stamps and I'm like, okay, this is what I want to do, you know, so, yeah, so then you decide. And people feel like there's lots of people Pinterest, and, you know, people you can create, and all right, so we'll take all of our guys back to the assembly. All right, cool. So Karen can show you your dimensionals and maybe she can give you some tips on how she layered everything. I'm going to.
Ooh, yes.
Yes. So you've got a little bucket and there's some dimensionals and things in front of you. Each of you has a bucket.
Yeah, I got those little ones and bigger ones.
Oh, okay.
And then I will also work on getting mine. So the other thing I did with this one was I actually sold finished cards, which I've never done before, like, but as a donation, right, for the thing. So I actually do have to make my cards during class because they're going to be donated and people are going to buy them. So I was like, oh, I actually have to get this done. So yeah, so Karen can show you. You started with the lemons, right?
Lemons, yeah, so arrange the lemons first and you kind of glue the lemons together once you figured out how you.
So I think it's like a partial lemon.
You did, do I need to put these down first?
We
or-
kind of snuck them in afterwards.
Oh, okay.
I think it was easier.
Easier for the glue on them. So yeah, we did figure how we wanted this first.
Mhm.
And so like I glued that one to that one.
Okay, so if I copy you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Copy.
Well, copy whatever.
Yeah.
And I think for me, like I'll usually put some big dimensionals and then I'll like place one of them. Like if this is the back one, I kind of work from the back to the front, right?
Yeah.
So like if this guy's facing up, so I go, okay, let's put a couple on him. And then I might put, you know, a couple on, like I might do my next, you know, put a couple dimensionals here. And then kind of put him on with one dimensional, you know, so kind of layer your lemons.
So these are the dimensions.
Yeah.
Pops them up, makes it look very,
I know, it's
very
fun.
cool.
Well, and then there's big ones and little ones, and you do need the little ones on a few of these things, right, Karen? Like,
Yeah, like on the little flowers, I use the little ones.
Yeah.
Flowers up.
And then I think there's an extra lemon from this packet.
Yes, I do. I was confused for a while.
I know.
but-
Well, you could put him on the inside of your card and that would be super fancy,
be
right? I was like, oh, we could do something extra fancy. I know I was thinking about it. I was like, we don't use him on the next card. I was like, we just have a cool little lemon that's left over. So, all right. So we've got our big lemons down. And then I think, then at that point, I think is when I decided, okay, now I'm going to tuck in all these leaves everywhere. And did you just use the glue for the leaves,
I
Karen?
did.
Okay. It's kind of nice because the glue gives you a second to like readjust and
Okay.
think, you know.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah, I'm not very practiced at this, so we do have to readjust.
yes. I was like, readjusting is perfectly fine. Well, I had to readjust. I had to like pull my whole card apart on the first one because I did everything too tight and then there was like no room. So then maybe like
So then, yeah, then I used the glue to stick the leaves down, yeah. And less is more on the glue.
less is more.
Yeah.
Always. I always end up with like sticky fingers.
Yes, I am
and
in that situation.
sticky projects. Now, do you need a wipey? Because I do have
Yeah.
wipey. I'm like, have a wipey. Like practical solution to that. And then it's okay. I've got 1,000 more.
Okay.
So H-E-B came out with these Blue Bonnet scented wipes,
Uh-huh.
and they are so nice.
Oh, yeah.
They smell good, and so I'm like, all right, I might have hoarded a few. I would like all mine. Like I will buy 9 packages of this. So yes, I like the Blue Bonnet scented wipes. I think they're lovely. So, here, I'm gonna throw this one away though, because that one's really dirty and he's gonna cause problems. So, I've gotten those like back on my project, like it's been wet and then I like mess up my project and then I'm really sad.
It's a cute little basket that she can.
Yeah. All right. So, okay. So now our leaves are down. Is my card opening the right way? Oh, oh no. Okay. All right. So then we'll focus on the flowers. So I think the flowers you just did you do many dimensionals? You
Yeah.
kind of glued a few down.
I glued a few down, but then
Okay.
made the big ones pop out.
Okay. Let's see if I can do this without making a big mess. So I also put some glue dots in your little bucket, Renee. And so
It's these little things.
you have like a little
with blue on them.
plate of them. Or little, so those are handy for the little tiny flowers because there's like, I don't know, I can't get glue on something that tiny. That's too tiny. So the glue dots are helpful for that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're helpful to make that happen. Right, so we got another one on there. I'm looking at what I did because it was magical the first time I did it, and I don't want to mess it up.
Yeah, keeping the magic.
I know. I was like, let's see. So I'm gonna tuck. I think I'm gonna tuck that maybe here because it was cut off, and then maybe how many? Are there only 5 flowers on the card?
Yes.
Ooh, okay, good. I don't have to use this one that I cut off 3 times, like 3 corners that are messed up. It's like, oh, that's tragic. All right, and then we just have a bunch of these, and then pearls.
Everything is better with one.
Absolutely. And it covers a multitude of sins, honestly. Like if you screwed something up, you can just put a rhinestone on it, honestly.
Yeah.
No one will know, like I messed up something yesterday. We had we were following along with these presenters and one of them was from Australia and I honestly just could not understand her.
Yeah.
I was trying, I really was, but I was just like, I just don't think that's English.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, I just don't know what you're saying. And she's talking and talking and talking. And I'm like, okay. And I did not follow what she was doing. And I messed something up and ended up with red ink everywhere. And I was like, oh my gosh, I was like, this is terrible. I was like, can I put a bunch of rhinestones on there? Like, will I be able to cover it all up? I think I figured it out. All right, so I'm going to do this one a little bit different. I'm going to do this. Let me see how this is going to work. If I did,
That's cool.
yeah, that's kind of style of cutting it out is nice, but I kind of wanted this to be a little bit cleaner. And I think I can do 2 dimensions right there. 1 and maybe 2. And wedge it where it needs to go. George is really just losing his mind, so he just does not understand.
Really nice and quiet.
He is quiet. Yeah, well, yeah. You missed the squeaky toy moment where he decided to bring a squeaky ball in and squeak it. On the video, it'll come out great.
Then he had to show me nothing.
Yes,
Squeaky ball.
yes, he had to show everybody his squeaky ball. Everybody needs to say it. All right, so here are the pearls, and we'll have a pearl moment. So feel free. Pearl away, and then I'm going to try to stick this guy on the inside of the card.
You should save this, right? You're use that for something
I
else.
think you can use it. I
Okay.
think you'll find a lemony use for it. So, and then what we'll do, Renee, is we'll go back and I'll do the first 2 cards with you. But we'll do the last card all together. So, once you've pearled. Okay, cool. cool. So pearl as well. And then the last card. Oh yeah, the last card's the stamping card. Okay, cool. It's like, I remember now. What are we doing? Okie dokie. Okay. So Karen, you can be my passer outer of amazing supplies. So thank you. And then the card base. Inside white. And maybe. I think that's right. They were kind of sticking together. Yeah. And then this. Okay. And that's it. Okay. Cool.
When you glued that part.
Yeah, I glued this part and put a dimensional over there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Good job, Karen. Karen did that all on her own, which is impressive. I didn't even tell Karen how to do that, and she figured it out. So this is not Karen's first rodeo, but that's impressive. I was like, I wondered if you would figure it out. But then I was like, oh, it'll be fine. I'll work it out. It's no big deal. All right, so we're gonna need lemons. We're gonna need leaves. We're gonna need flowers, but we're gonna need a different sentiment. All right, so we need the thanks a bunch because it's so cute. So we used all the sentiments. Enjoy the sweeter life, have a zesty birthday, sending you a big squeeze, and thanks a bunch. So that makes me happy. Whenever we have a stamp set, I try to use all the sentiments in it because I try to use every single stamp because I want you to see the value, you like understand that it's a great stamp set and we're going to use all of it. So okay, thanks a bunch. Oh, and thanks a bunch is the one that's on here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that sweet? You don't have to have it now. You can say it or you can do whatever you want. But these are fun. These little fold things are really easy to do. And they're really fun for like parties.
Yeah.
And it's just a super cute little touch that like, it just goes a little extra mile. And this part,
Yeah.
I've been wanting to use this part forever. This little die. So,
Love it.
So
It's
awesome.
super cute. I know. And this going. It's so much.
I know. We were talking about, our events and like trying to make our events like an experience, right? And like I used to do what we call a seat treat for every single class and pre-COVID. But then when COVID happened, I started doing all my classes online.
Yeah.
And I stopped doing it because also people were weird about like they didn't want you touching their food and your candy and and so I was like, okay, we're gonna go away from that. And then last month I was like, I'm going back to this. Like this is silly. Like in Texas, shipping chocolate in the summer, not a great idea, but like by December, I can usually ship a chocolate and it'll get to where its destination is, but things that don't melt or things that, and they don't even have to be food things, right? They could be non-food things, but I was like, I'm going to go back to this. I miss this. So, okay. Are you all good? All right. So I'll take your pearls back because I'm going to borrow the pearls and I'm going to put some pearls on mine. And then you have an envelope, so you can tuck it in your envelope and you can put it in your little clear pouch. And that can protect all your cards, which is handy. So, okay, good. We've got that. Oh yeah, super. We're going to need that anyways. So, cool. And I'm going to put a couple pearls on my guy here because why not? So those lovely folks who.
I guess we get an extra lemon.
Yeah.
We already talked about that.
Yes, we'll put him somewhere. You could put him on the next card too. He would look cute on the next card. So just, hold him in reserve. He'll come in here.
So this is the trash.
Yeah.
And that is the trash. Yes. So, all right. So you have a bone folder in your little kit in front of you. So you can score your fold and score your crease line on your card. It just helps your card lay flat. So it's easier to like build your card. So you have that. And then this is the card we're making. So we're going to We're going to stamp some background stuff here, and then we're going to stamp all these lemons. It is the last card because hopefully you're feeling more confident. You'll be fine. It'll be fine. You've already done lemons. You've already done leaves. These are just one color leaves, so no big deal. This is all kind of one color. And then you do have a piece of white for the inside. So your big piece of white, you can go ahead and tape on the inside of your card or glue on the inside of your card, because this card you could write on this yellow, like on this green, but it looks a little more finished when you put a piece of white on the inside, I think. It looks fancy. Okay. So we're going to stamp the front of it. So what I'm going to recommend is that you lay your card flat and flip it inside out, like flip it like so.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because we're going to stamp these flowers on the side in the light green, which maybe is somewhere.
And my white is down.
Yeah, flip it the
Oh,
other
yeah, it's over
way.
there.
Oh yeah, can you reach that light green ink pad? Haha. It's like, here we go. Yes, just like that. Perfect. Yep. So all we're gonna do is we're gonna take our flowers and we're just gonna stamp. And then when you do it, whenever you're creating like a pattern on your paper, make sure to rotate your stamp, right? So that it doesn't look the same. And you're just creating a row of these, and they can be a little faded. Don't have to be perfect, but make sure you re-ink every time and stamp off. So see how I'm kind of stamping where it kind of goes off the edge? That's okay, because that's going to give us what we need. So we're just going to make a panel, and then you can hold up your yellow and say like, oh yeah, that's good enough, you know, like, and I honestly think if you just kind of go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, up and down the sides, you'll be fine. So we're just creating our own pattern paper basically by doing this. And then we're doing the same thing with this panel too. We're creating our own pattern paper. So it's like this is, you know, some of my printed paper, but it's not, you know, so I think that's fun. So, all right. So you guys have a little model.
Cute.
And then I have a sentiment as well. And we're going to do the sentiment in gray on your little punch piece. You can decide if you want your punch to go up and down or square. I think the square is a little, you know, I think it's fine. I maybe think it's a little square. So which you could decide which way your quatrefoil shall roll. All right, so you've got your flowers, so you can do your flower background and just make sure that your card is totally on the table. Push it up a little bit. Yeah, perfect. Stamping is weirdly sensitive to like unevenness on tables. I teach a class at a coffee shop in Westlake, and it's a beautiful place, but the table is like this rustic table and it has all these dips. I have to bring foam mats for us to stamp on because it's crazy. Like I can't get it to, nothing comes out. All right, so the sentiment, we're just stamping just on there. It's just easy peasy. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy.
That's good.
I know. I'm here all week. The lemon jokes are just so, they're so easy, you know, like it really is. I mean, I'm like, this lemon stuff has been so fun. The lady who I helped her with her party, she's playing Pekino, which I'm still thinking about. It's a weird game, but she was doing a foster village fundraiser too. And I was like, she was a hoot, but she had lemon earrings and lemon. I mean, like she had so much fun. She went crazy. All right. So this is your sentiment for your little piece and it's already inked for you. So pull your little, yep, there you go. There you go. Perfect. And it's inked up and ready. Yeah, exactly. Do you want it straight or do you want it? All right. So now we're going to stamp. So go ahead and put this aside. And we're going to stamp the lemons, and then we'll kind of nestle in a couple of leaves in the corners, you know? So the lemons, just like we did that other one, where we're going to stamp the outside of the lemon and then the inside of the lemon. So we're going to get our giant. And I'm just gonna be like, all right, I think I want to do that. And I'm gonna press pretty hard because I found that this one lemon, he needs pretty good pressure to come out good. And then I'm gonna say, okay, well, I want like a full lemon, but maybe I want it in like heat. Okay. And see how I got a little bit of a bump. It's okay. I'm not super tragically sad about it, but this is a weird stamp. You have to like see how you have to kind of go back and forth because
Yeah.
it's so freaking big.
Mhm.
So just when you ink it up, and then we're just going to do the same thing we did before, right? Where we filled it. And so I'm going to try to find my lemons, which is maybe more challenging than one would think. I know, I was like, ugh. Some people stand to stamp, and I understand why they do. All right, and we're gonna.
Oh, yeah.
Right, it
I
makes
can see that.
power, right? They want that. They want that power. That push. You know? Try to fill. Sure, right? Like, okay, all right. So now we're gonna get all of we'll get your insides
Yep.
done. I was like,
This is spatial rotation.
Yes.
it is, right? Yeah, I know. It's a little weird. It's a little like, okay. Like, so do your outline pieces.
And would you say this one?
Yeah,
or this
just
one?
pick one, and then we'll just flip it for the other one. So kind of however you want. I really don't think it matters. I really don't think it matters.
Okay.
All right. Nice. All right. Here's that. So then for this one, I would go off, and I would go maybe like that's probably how I would do that one. Or you could flip it around and go like that. So whichever way you want to do it. You're like, oh, which way? What?
Let's try all the ways.
Well, I had a hard time lining it up the second time. That's
Okay.
hilarious. All right, and then we'll get you some
Yes.
filler lemons, and then and maybe Karen can fill hers.
Maybe
That's it.
not. That's it.
No, that's not it.
That's not it.
It.
No, I really,
Well, here, like this.
okay.
There
go
we go.
for it.
Okay. You're like, I can't see this.
I know.
I can't see the forest for the trees. There we go.
Look at that.
Better. And if you don't like him, you can cover him with the little, right? Like
Yep.
depending on how you orient your little piece.
Yep.
Right. You can kind of figure out how you want to fill. Like I'll try to cover my boo-boo that I made. Okay, let's see. Let's orient your lemons. All right, so big guy, big circle, that one over there. Yeah, yeah, there you go. Perfect.
Yeah, look at this.
Orient your lemons.
Yeah.
And even if it's off a little bit.
Yeah, it's okay. Again, if it's perfect, oh my gosh, okay. And then you're just going to glue. And then the only thing that's popped up on dimensionals is the sentiment. But those other two, so you're gonna put your yellow down first. You've got that like kind of yellow panel, right? And then you're gonna put your white panel on top. And then you're gonna pop that up with dimensionals. And then we're gonna tie a little bow with your ribbon. So, easy peasy. All right. So now that we have gotten ourselves nice and messy. All right. We're gonna go over here. Oh, we need to add the leaves.
We do.
Good call. All right. So hold on. Renee. Yep. Yeah, it's okay. Yep. There you go. Yellow. Yep.
I'm gonna do
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. And then before you glue yours down, Karen, let's wait and we'll stamp the leaves. It's a good call. And then Renee, go ahead and glue yours down, and I'm going to show you a trick around this. So we're going to stamp our leaves, and we're going to try to, we're going to try to tuck some leaves in between things, right? So kind of wherever you see a gap, you can put a leaf. And if it doesn't fit, you fit as much of a leaf as you can. What happens, Renee, is like when you do that, see how I got a little bit of green over here? And so because you've glued yours down, I'm going to use a scratch piece of paper, and I'm going to come in and like kind of block it for you so that you're able to do that. So like on this one,
That's a good learning.
Yes,
teaching moment.
yes, for sure. Always. And, the other thing I've learned is if I get a bunch of ink on the other part, so I'm actually going to switch blocks because this block is too big.
I've done that before. I got extra ink and then it ends up
Everywhere else. Yeah.
splotch.
No fun. And if you use the right side block, it won't happen. When you use the wrong block because you're silly, then it happens more. So, but yeah, I think what we'll do is completely yours. I'm just going to block it, holding this. Okay. We're just going to edge that up to it. Okay. And then that'll help us so that we don't get green on the rest of your page. Okay. So it's weird that they only had, so they had 2 leaf dies, but only 1 leaf stamp. I thought that was really strange. I was like, oh, so I only snuck them in on the sides.
Yeah.
Because, and honestly, in this one, I only got 3 in because I was very limited. This one I got 4 in somehow, but I don't know how I was it.
Oh, you got one in the middle.
Yeah, I got a lot of room.
You did, yeah. And I think that, especially because of wherever you put your sentiment, like that could turn out, you could be really happy with having that tuck out. And then maybe I would say just the peep of the leaves there. Yeah, perfect. I was like a peep of a leaf.
A peep.
A peep. All right, so and you might not have a ton of room for leaves anyway.
Yeah.
So let's do this. We're definitely gonna put one, right? So I'm gonna block here. Okay. So you can kind of stamp it wherever you want it. Perfect. Perfect. And then press. Oh. So we'll take it back. I'm probably not.
Yeah, she's going to do that for me.
There.
Now it's filled in.
Yeah.
All right.
And then where else do you want to leave? You want to do like a little.
Yeah, that looks good.
Okay. So when you do it, press nice and firm. Perfect. Nice. And because these are photopolymer, you do have to press, I feel like, a little bit longer. You kind of hold it and then the ink absorbs. Do you want to put like a peep of like a little bit? Like that.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
A little bit more color.
Yeah, it's a little bit filled. Do you want one more piece over here?
Yeah, maybe.
Support there.
Perfect.
Nice.
Oh,
Amazing. Okay, now you can continue. Yes, I forgot about that. I was like, oh, the leaves. Oh dear. All right, so now we can glue our white panel.
I put 2 though.
Yeah, I mean, I could support up to 4. We were talking about someone I met who had like literally 15 dimensional.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's too big. I was like, 2. Yeah, like I was like, it's not going to war. And she was like, have you seen how USPS treats our mail? And I was like, you're right. I was like, they are pretty rough on the mail. Like I've gotten some stuff in the mail, especially when I put rhinestones where like it goes through and it's all like sticking out.
Yeah.
I started using those. There's these blue butterfly stamps that are non-machinable stamps. And so they have to hold it. They can't stick it through the machine. And then your stuff will get there in one piece. But if not, I feel like that machine just it's a terrorizer. Like it just takes everything out. So, all right. So I'm going to lay mine down like this, I think. And it's just enough so the yellow kind of like peeks out. Right. And then, okay. And then our bow. All right. So there's a little bit of plastic wrap on here. So use your scissors and you're going to try to get under this plastic wrap however you can. I have not found an elegant way of getting this off. And I'm sorry. It's painful. And if you cut a little bit of ribbon, it's okay too. No big deal.
How much do you cut?
Well, so I have started where I don't actually cut the ribbon before I tie the bow, which might be a little weird.
Interesting.
So because it conserves ribbon when you do that.
Mhm.
So I
Yeah.
just take it and I make a bow on the spool. But I'm also very chintzy when it comes to ribbon. And so I like my ribbon to last. So then I'm able to make a bow and then I just drop it in my lap and then I will cut off the end and do it like that.
And this is where I go.
I do. And then Karen hands me her stuff and I tie a bow for her. So it's so funny. I used to not tie people's bows. I was like, no, you must learn. You must learn how to tie a bow. Like this is an essential skill, you know. It's like when I taught Marianne how to tie her shoes. And in kindergarten, her kindergarten teacher, not at Barton Hills, in South Carolina, her kindergarten teacher had a system where they got paid in pennies if they had to pay each other to, like, if someone had to tie your shoe. Marianne had so much money. She went to the treasure chest so many times that year. She was the only kid in the class who knew how to tie their shoes. She made bank. She made so much money that year. It was so funny. And I was like, how do you keep bringing home treasure chest stuff like that? Like, you're a good kid, but like, what is happening, you know? And she's like, oh, well, Miss Spiller gives me, the other kids have to give me their pennies when I have to tie their shoes. And Miss Spiller said she's not tying shoes. So I get all the pennies. And I was like, wow. I was like, Miss Spiller's the racket going on there. I was like, that's insane. So then I was like, but I do tie, when I go to the senior center and I teach, I always tie their bows. And then I have a couple ladies who have this bow tire thing that's like this wooden spool. Anyway, they're crazy about it. I just do 2 bunny ears and flop them over and it works just fine. But, and then I like to attach this with a glue dot. And I think a real glue dot is called for. So our normal glue dots come on these spools and they're actually useful. And so if you want to, yeah, I just put the bow on the glue dot and then pick the whole thing.
I have big fat old fingers, so the bow would be like.
Renee's like,
I'm trying it.
Renee's like, I don't think I remember how to tie a bow.
I'm trying to do bunny ears way.
How do you normally do it? Do you do the noose? You do tie the noose around the neck thing? Okay, try that and see if that works better for you. It's so funny. I'm always like, which way did you learn how to tie your shoes? You
I've
know,
not
people are
learned
like,
bunny ear.
okay, that's funny. I must have, my mother. Well, my mom was also left-handed and I'm left-handed. So I do think there's something weird, like spatially, like I write my E's backwards because you guys start here and go down, right? I start here and go up.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I just.
yes, you do this. Yes.
Yeah.
And I realized when I was a kid and I saw someone write for the first time, I was like, we do that again? I was like, well, that's not how I write my letters. I was like, oh, my mom told me a different way. You know, it's like, I don't know what that is, you know. If you want me to tie your bow for you, I will.
I did.
You did it.
Tied it. It's just that I don't know if I'm
Happy with it.
super happy with it. Because, and like my aunt, she ties them beautiful bows and mine are always funky. But it's tied.
It's tied.
Yeah.
Do you want to make it smaller?
Sure. Yes. And I wanted the 2 ones at the bottom to go down and not.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I know.
You must be twisting it when you do it. I'm going to untie it. Don't be sad.
Yeah.
So, and there's a knot in the middle too, which I'm not even sure how you got a knot in the middle, but okay. So when I do the 2 bunny ears, so what I do is, and it's like it's flat. See how it's flat? So they're two kind of, here, this is the best way to watch it. So there's two bunny ears like this,
Mm.
right?
Yeah,
And then I just cross them over, but keep them
Okay.
nice and flat, right?
yeah.
And then when he gets flopped under, then that's how you get it where they stay and your guys are headed down.
Yeah,
So it's
Okay.
sort of like they go like this, right? And it's like very flat. And so, and then when you do that, then you're able to get it, done. And then I've got a blue dot over here for you, but they're impossible to see. So I'm going to do it for you. Like I had to get reading glasses this last year and I'm doing a lot of like, okay, like when I'm crafting, I'm wearing.
Well, I
my
have to
craft.
get 2 pair of glasses.
No.
So these are my progressive
Oh, yeah.
bifocals. And they got different glasses just for the computer.
Well, and that's what he mainly got. Oh, there's something on the floor. I mainly got readers for the computer.
Uh-huh.
And if I look up or I try to walk with them, like I'll fall, I'll hurt myself.
Yeah.
And so, but I haven't been using them when I craft, and that it seems to be working just fine.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like it's just definitely a little trippy. So, well,
look at it's even
beautiful.
right.
I knew it. Oh gosh, I've done that before where I built the card and it didn't open the right way. So, all right, well, I'm gonna stop the recording and these guys.